let's talk Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Can he, I guess it's an unanswerable question, but I think it is the question. Can he develop a young quarterback? Let me give the context. 2 years in Houston with Matt Schaub leaves. 4 years in Washington, but 2 with Cousins. Cousins never really plays under him. Plays under McVay, does well.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Atlanta. No, goes to Cleveland 1 year, gone. Atlanta 2 years. Matt Ryan was already a Pro Bowler at that point.
Yeah.
Leaves. Comes to the Niners. 4 years with Jimmy Garoppolo. Doesn't really improve. Doesn't drafts one quarterback at C.J. Beathard. He's going to draft a guy, we think, this year in the first round. Can he develop him? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think Kyle Shanahan can develop him. Again, I'm really hard on Shanahan, but the reason I give constructive criticism is because I believe he's a top offensive mind in the NFL. I mean, I think he's up there with Andy Reid, and
no doubt,
you can say what you want about Kyle Shanahan, but he does a tremendous job in hiding his players' weaknesses and playing to his players' strengths. And if you have a quarterback you can develop, like that will only do wonders for Shanahan's offense to open up the playbook. Now, getting back to your point, Jimmy Garoppolo has not been that guy.
No.
And C.J. Beathard was not
Neither
that
one
guy.
improved. Neither one improved in the last 4 years.
So can they bring in somebody to kind of take the reins and kind of take the 49ers to the next level? I believe Shanahan has the ability to do that.
Here's why I question. I'm not saying he can't. I know his dad could. His dad was great for John Elway and Steve Young. Great for him. With Kyle, he seems to be more, I was talking about this earlier, more on the John Gruden spectrum. He seems like his style of coaching, he calls it keeping it real. But his style of blunt honesty, which I would call negativity, wears on quarterbacks in particular, because they're the ones that have to take the brunt of his, honesty. And after 3 years of it, I think it really affects your confidence. Like, my head coach really doesn't think I'm good. And I hear it every week. And now I believe it, because I've just heard nothing but, you're not that good. You're not that good. You should have made this throw. You should have set your feet. You should have made that read. Monday morning quarterbacking constantly. So the system will be good for the kid. The playmakers around him will be good for the young quarterback. But will Kyle Shanahan's voice in his head give him a nervous breakdown? That's my only question, because I think it did for Jimmy, man. I think Jimmy's happy to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see on the sideline, bro. Like, when he comes off to the sideline, and Shanahan, even though he has his mask on, you can kind of see the body language that's going on between the two. You can tell there's tension there.
Oh,
you can totally tell there's tension.
Yep.
Absolutely. He talks to him. Jimmy Garoppolo will talk to him, and then Jimmy Garoppolo turns around and then kind of puts his head down and walks away. Usually, what a player would do would be like, okay, I got it, and then go back and then stand next to the coach, or do something, right?
Dude, like, if Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniels walked over to Jimmy like that and gave him coaching points during a game, Jimmy would be like this. It'd be like your 6-year-old son looking at you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yes, sir, okay, yes, coach, coach. Yeah. For Kyle, it's like, all right, Kyle, okay, Kyle, here we go again. Wasn't good enough. I'm telling you, man, it's his attitude. And you're working with he's going to get a 21-year-old kid, a 22-year-old kid who's used to praise. If it's Zach Wilson, who's ever told Zach Wilson he's not good? He plays at BYU. He's a god at BYU. He's the best thing that's happened to BYU since Ty Detmer and Steve Young. And he's going to come to the Niners. He's going to be the first-round pick, and he's going to think, man, these guys love me. They love me. And then after 2 months of being in quarterback meetings with Kyle, I was like, man, I suck. I had no idea. I sucked so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Kyle, you better be careful, man. You look to me like a quarterback killer. That is a concept.
Quarterback killer?
That's the thing that I don't know if fans understand. But there are certain coaches that are just quarterback killers. Who was like that? Mike Nolan?
Oh, my gosh. John
Gruden? I have no idea how Derek Carr has survived. Wow. Derek, way to go. Way to go. And Jim Harbaugh was not a quarterback killer. He was tough on the rest of his team, but he was relentlessly behind his quarterback at all times. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Always ride the hot hand. Even when we watch practice together, you can just tell he was actually the one throwing the balls with the quarterbacks. He was having that personal interaction that I have never seen in 49ers practice in the 7 years that I've covered the team. And what I've saw from Jim Harbaugh, from the quarterback specifically, I have never seen anywhere else. Anywhere else.
The way that he pumped up Colin in particular. I mean, Colin thought he was the best athlete in the world, and Jim made him think that. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want your guys to feel like they're the best. And what
Mhm.
Kyle does is makes them think that they're not even as good as Kirk Cousins.
That's the difference. I think Kyle is very hard on his quarterbacks because he sees the potential in them and he gives them
That's his style.
constructive criticism. But then some players do not respond well to constructive criticism. Some
Especially
might
if it's
be.
all you get, if there's no praise mixed in.
Right. So it just depends on Kyle Shanahan and if he can change up his coaching style to your point, kind of take back a little bit and say, okay, well, this guy's a rookie. Let's focus on the positives like I do with my other positions and not so much on the negatives, and then focus on that.
Because if you remember the way that Jim Harbaugh had such success early on was to come to this team and say, you know what, we're not moving off this quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I want Alex and he's good. Every
Mm-hmm.
time a reporter would be like, doesn't Alex Smith kind of suck? Isn't Alex Smith kind of a problem? Jimmy Harbaugh would be like, no, he's our quarterback. He's good. And that's when Alex Smith became a winning player.
And
That's
I
when
love
he became
that.
a winning player.
Yeah. We would sit so many times in the press conferences and just listen to Jim Harbaugh just praise his quarterbacks, whoever was behind center, game
Doesn't
after
matter.
game after game after game after game, Monday after Tuesday after
It was
Wednesday, every
strategic.
day.
Why was he doing it, Ryan?
Man.
Because that's the most important player on your team. If he doesn't believe in himself, you are screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So he understood that. That was the one thing he got, and he won right away. And to me, McVay gets the same thing. McVay inherited Jared Goff, who looked like a freaking bust at his rookie year. And he looked bad, and he could have went the Mitchell Trubisky route of losing all self-confidence. McVay comes in and says, no, you're good. You're freaking good, even though he may not even believe that. You know, you're good. We're going to win. And it works.
Right.
Kyle hasn't figured that out yet.